Hello, my friend, and welcome to Hello Main Street. It's good to see you here. Let's get started. My name is Monica Sanchez. I'm your host, and here we talk about thought provoking tips, tricks, and ideas for fellow entrepreneurs just like you and me. So let's get started. Today, we are going to be talking about how to prevent burnout. I wasn't sure what that was all about prior to me being an entrepreneur. And I kind of had fallen into the trap myself. So I wanted to give some ideas for you. So then that way, if you're starting to feel these, then you can go ahead and have some preventative care and not wait too long to take care of yourself, which is the most important thing, especially when you're owning a business, because nobody is going to run your business like you, and no one's going to take more pride and energy than you would, right? It's just like having a baby. So, all right. So lots of things are riding on your shoulders as a business owner, right? In order to be successful, you have to wear many hats, right? You have to be the promoter, you have to be the recruiter, you have to do your books and all of this other good stuff that comes along with being an entrepreneur, besides the one passion thing that you're like, I love to like bake cakes, so that's all I want to do. But yet you have 20 more hats you have to do on top of just being able to bake cakes. So let's unpack this a little bit further. And I'm just going to give you a little scenario here that, we work 80-hour work weeks. You could be doing that for years and years. As myself, I was doing that on top of going to school, running a household all at the same time, right? And that can be pretty overwhelming. So as for me, I was used to running on high all the time. But I feel, again, as an entrepreneur, you kind of shift a little bit more. A little bit more pressure was put on, financially, things like that, in order to produce. So the first time in my career, I had hit a wall. Didn't realize where I was at, right, as far as what I was feeling. And again, don't let entrepreneurship be a lonely road for you. If you're feeling things, talk to another entrepreneur. 9 times out of 10, we've gone down the same road as one another, and we want to help each other through this process. Each lane is a little bit different, but yet the road is very familiar to one another. So in 2023, I just emotionally, physically shut down, right? I withdrew from everything, and my business suffered during that time frame. I didn't know about, I've heard about, I should say, burnout, right? But I was like, I don't know what that all entails. But it was really interesting for me to finally talk with somebody about it. And they're like, oh, yeah, you were in the throes of burnout, right? So I'm a very social, outgoing person, as most people know. And for me, to not want to talk to a group of people, to not want to interact and just like don't want to answer the phone. I don't want to be on video or anything like that. That was a real thing. So, I went ahead, I took some precautions. I spoke with some people in mental health. And they're like, you need to start taking better care of yourself. You are right in the throes of things. And so, what were some suggestions and ideas that they gave me that I felt would be very helpful for you guys as well? Is talking about some things to help you regain your energy back, regain that passion back for what you wanted to start, so that way it can help you to make better decisions for yourself, for your family, and for your business. So, let's dive right on in. So, preventing burnout. What are some signs of physical burnout? So here's some things that I wanted to share with you. Bear with me here. One is watch for physical signs of burnout, right? What do I mean by that? You could be feeling, tired all the time. You could have gotten your 8 hours rest and ready, just like close your eyes and just go back to sleep for another 10 more hours. I know I've been there. So I understand. And feeling detached, right? Feeling like you didn't want to be where you're at. You just wanted to stay secluded in your own little world. I get that. So that was another sign that I felt. And then my feeling ineffective, right? Feeling like everything that I did, even though I would create my list, I would run down all what I was going to do for the day. By the time I got to my desk, I was like, what is it I'm going to be taking care of and what am I supposed to be doing? I just really didn't have a clue, and I would kind of sit there for a while. So that is one thing that you want to know about. So where can we go from here? One suggestion that I have, actually, it's tip number two, is to set boundaries. As like for myself, I am one of those people who I'm a people pleaser, right? I like to make people happy. I want to help people be successful. And so it's really hard for me sometimes to actually say no. So when I do say no, that's pretty rare for me. But I am starting to now take an opportunity where I will listen to people. And then if they're like, we really want you to do this, I'm like, let me think about it. Let me see how I can fit that into my schedule. And if it's not something that I feel is going to align with what I'm doing, and help other people to propel forward, and it's going to take a lot more extra time out of my day, or it's just doesn't light me up, I'm gonna do a pass on that one. So that's just kind of me and how I'm feeling. And it's okay to say no. And somebody had once told me, Miss Kara Wilson, I'm going to shout out her name. She said, no is a complete sentence. You don't have to give explanation. I feel like as women entrepreneurs or just women in general, when we say no, it's like we're supposed to give an explanation why. And you know what? We don't have to. We can just say, no, I'm going to pass on this one. Thank you. So that's a good rule of thumb right there. All right. So tip number three, delegate what doesn't light you up. So, what do I mean by that? Well, for me, again, I love talking to people. I love being out in a crowd, helping people to reach their goals. And so I am all about being in the thick of it, being in the middle of an event, things like that. Those are things that light me up. So, what is it that lights you up? Don't delegate that part out, because that's what's going to give you that energy to keep you rejuvenated and keep you moving forward. So a task for myself would be like delegating my bookkeeping. I do keep an eye on my books, but doesn't mean I have to manage my books on a day to day. It doesn't mean I have to worry about doing my taxes. I can let somebody else take care of that who is better, more equipped to do it. They love to do that. So I delegate that outward. And then I also bring people in. If I have smaller tasks that I need to do that I'm like, you know what, it's going to take a lot more time and energy than what I have. And I know that someone else is better suited for that role, then I'm going to pass that along. Oftentimes I will see entrepreneurs they'll be saying, you know what, I can't afford to delegate that out. I would love to, right? But I can't afford it. So you have to really look at that offset. What is it that is taking away from your business by doing the things that don't light you up, that don't fulfill you? What does that monetary and time look like? Could that have equated to you getting 2 or 3 more jobs to balance out, doing more of what you want and less of what you don't? So keep an eye on that piece, and then circle back and tell me what you think about that part. All right. So tip number 4, self-care. I can't stress this enough. When I was working with Heritage University for the physician assistant program, a big component we would tell our students was take care of yourself. These people are, going at it for 2 years straight, diving into a profession, not working, just books, hitting the books, studying, everything else, passing the state tests and everything so they can get certified. And we always would tell them, take a break. 50 minutes of studying, take a break after that. If that's the same with yourself and say you have work that you're doing, set your timer for 50 minutes. And then from there, get up, move around, get your brain going, make sure you're drinking water, keep your brain hydrated because it's going to help you to function better. And then whatever you can, get up and move around. Especially for me in the mornings, I like to get up. I like to get started. I like to start jogging in the morning or at least walking briskly just to get my blood flowing, my heart pumping. It makes me feel better. I have higher energy level. So that's always a good one. And, I always say, self care is not being selfish. It's like when you are going on a plane and the plane is going down, what does the airline stewardess always say? They say, put your mask on first, right? Because when you put your mask on first, then you're able to help to take care of others. So I hope that this tips and information was helpful for you. I thank you so much for allowing me to reflect, to go back to what I remember, because sometimes it's easier to be said than done. If you have any questions, here's my information down below. Feel free to reach out to me. That is my direct number. And if you're like, you know what, I'd rather just go ahead and connect with you on LinkedIn, here's my information and would love to connect. Monica Sanchez, B2B. As always, we are better together.